iPhones are fabulous, aren't they? You can do your emails, send texts, access the World Wide Web. You can watch TV, and some say that you can even make phone calls on these things. But if there's one thing that this does that really divides opinion, it's this. You can take photos. And that is precisely where the photographic world divides. One half thinks the images from a phone are pretty good, but the other half, they'd say that serious photographs are only taken by real cameras. The naysayers are not having it. No, they're not having it when anybody says they take a good picture with one of these. So who's right? Well, if we're being totally honest, they've both got a point. They're never going to rival the versatility and image quality of a real camera. You want to print the image bigger than a postage stamp? Then you're probably going to need a proper camera. But, and it's a big but. Did I just say big but? But most of us will never be printing an image big enough to wallpaper your living room with. Most of us view photos on a screen. In fact, mostly on a phone screen. And viewing photographs on a screen, well, that doesn't need anywhere near the same resolution. Noise, for instance, is at a minimum when you view an image on a phone screen. So it covers up all sorts of mistakes, and that's why people think iPhone images are so good. So is there a time where a phone could be better than having a full-size camera? Well, yes, I think there is. For me, I'd say maybe it's not better, but it certainly is good if all you're going to do is take snaps and view them on your phone screen. And it means I don't have to take a bulky camera with me. In short, when we're on vacation, that's when. It's the perfect travel camera. Small, easy to use, and it fits in your pocket, so it's always with you. So snap away on your holiday and enjoy the memories later. But hang on, just because you're taking your holiday snaps, that doesn't mean you can't be creative. Use a bit of photographic knowledge. Combine what you know with a dash of creativity, and Bob's your uncle.
Hello, Bob.
That iPhone might just surprise you. To prove a point, I was in Lisbon, Portugal recently, a great city for photographers, and decided to see if I could capture my memories with an iPhone 13. Have a look at these images now and let me know what you think in the comments section.
So I'm going to start here. It's the historic old entrance to Lisbon where the boats used to come in. You can see those two pillars in the sea there. I'm going to do a picture here, but there's a lot of people around, so I need to get closer. But it's lacking something. It's lacking a focal point. So I'm just going to just wait and see what happens. And eventually, yeah, this little kid comes in, look, and I get a picture. And that's just what I want. A little recrop and an edit, and that's the picture that I want. I'm happy with that picture. Can you see what I've done? I've just warmed it up for you. Sort of use the shadow as well in the crop. Look, we've got the pillars symmetrical in the middle of the picture, the kid kind of offset, and the shadow. Walking around the city, and I see this. It looks a bit familiar, that architecture. Well, it is familiar because it's Eiffel Tower in Paris fame. So I'm going to go over and do a picture of that. I've come back on a blue sky day because I think it helps the picture, and use the foreshortening of the wide lens. So while everybody else in Lisbon is taking a picture of that same old historic steep tram car, I'm out pointing the camera in the opposite direction. This is actually right by that tram. The tram is behind us, but I can't help noticing this great sort of social documentary, street photography if you like, scene. And there are things like that happening everywhere around you. Look at this this set of steps here. It's lacking something. A focal point again. There you go. I waited for somebody to come down the steps, and what a difference it makes. Okay, I've gone black and white. I think this picture helps being black and white because of all the light colours and the darkness of the person, the contrast coming down the steps. Black and white's really useful. I mean, some people love it, some don't. I really like to use it. Look at that picture there, street scene in black and white, and they look so different in colour and black and white, don't they? You know, similar scenes. That works really, really well for me. Here's one that works in colour. I like the blue sky and the shape that's giving there, and I like the reflections in the window panes. I don't think this one works in black and white, whereas the other one did, and that's just the way it happens. But look, I'm heading out to Belém now on the tram, and I can't help noticing our reflection. Look over there in those those mirrored panes of glass. Isn't that fantastic? So we're on the yellow tram and all the blues around. I think that works really, really well. And at Belém, I get to go to the very, very, very famous old store that makes those famous pastries. 1837 it invented those pastries, and that's a nice, you know, black and white sort of social shot of people crowded in to get their pastries, and even a little shot of somebody. They're all handmade. Look, there's somebody putting a case together with their fingers. Look, and beautiful, beautiful, delicate work. And I'm here to see the monastery. And while people are doing this with their iPhone, taking sort of ordinary pictures, just point and press, we want to do more. And that's the point with your iPhone. You can do more if you really, really want to. This is the queues of people waiting to go in. And as you can see, black and white suits the old, architecture. And that's what I'm looking to do in here. Inside, you've got this sort of courtyard, and it means I can start taking pictures. That is the picture I was hoping for. Beautiful lighting on that, and black and white really brings the architecture out. And that's just an iPhone. You know, don't forget to use people as well. You know, if you see people and give that human interest to the picture. But these are all iPhone pictures inside the monastery. We've got this wonderful ceiling, and I'm really going to go black and white. I'm going to go high contrast on this. Can't wait. Look at that. That's just an iPhone, folks. You can do it. If you've a mind to. Just really, really nice high contrast stuff. This is all, of course, in the editing. If you'd like to know a bit more about how I've edited these, drop me comments, and I'll show you sometimes where you take pictures and they perhaps look a little bit more like what you get off your camera, and I'll show you how I edit them using the same darkroom techniques that I would with conventional photography to add some contrast and dodge and burn and make things look a little bit special. This statue is out in Belém, and I particularly like this one. I like the light on it, but I love that little hand with a mobile phone coming up and taking a picture at the bottom. You see that? This is the famous tower. I like that picture, but I just thought it could be improved just getting in there, cropping in. I love that little line of people with their legs cut off at the bottom and they're waiting to go into that building. Now I've gone back at night to do the tower. It's good, isn't it? No, it isn't. Look, zoom in. It's not as good as you think it is because you're viewing on a screen. I mean, look at that. That's just fallen to pieces. As soon as you zoom in, you realise that the night mode is okay looking on the back of your screen like that, but if you try and enlarge it or print it, you will see that as soon as you're doing that night stuff, you need a better camera. Trams, you get some lovely pictures of trams around Lisbon, of course you do, but when they go past, it's a great opportunity to get people on them. Look there, look at that. That's a nice little picture of everybody. And here, look. Look at that, different stages of people aware of their photograph being taken. The tourist at the back hasn't got a clue. The woman at the front is a local. You know she's a local because you've got a ski jacket on in the middle of the sunny weather. But she's doing the journey with her face hidden because she knows the tourists are photographing the tram and she doesn't want to be on the pictures. Now we have some pictures around the city, but as you can see, it's using angles and photographic techniques just to make them a little bit more interesting. I've used the floor here for this picture of Dom Pedro Tower. Here's somebody looking out of a balcony, streets everywhere, alleyways, beautiful old buildings, and they all add up to take fantastic memories away, but they can still be creative pictures, and they're everywhere. I come down to the main square, but it's too crowded to photograph, so what do? I use the crowds, use the people. I quite like that. Now this is the posh area just outside town, and you can see the iPhone as an average exposure. I've used some editing to pull it back together, and you can even go wild with a bit of creative editing if you want to. That's just contrast. Now I'm in Sintra at the Pena Palace. The iPhone's trying to do an exposure here, and it's trying to do everything as it always does. But the trick is you can take the exposure down on your phone. And what I've done here, look at this underexposure. I've gone back a little bit and used some of the foliage and underexposed it. Don't forget to use people. Look at that person looking over the shoulder, that person taking a picture there. They've kind of made the picture. And look for shadows and light and how it reacts together. You can do all this with your iPhone. Don't forget people. Look at that person just looking through that shaft of sunlight. Now the sun. Just a reminder, don't use the zoom. Got this beautiful sunset, but if you actually look in, it's absolute rubbish, isn't it? And just to prove a point, here's a picture of the government building, the Houses of Parliament, with the soldiers in front, and look at it. Look at the detail. Look at how well it's coped with that. And actually, that's the same iPhone that I took that sunset picture of, which was just pants, wasn't it? It just fell apart in the low light and the zoom. Don't use them too much in low light unless you're prepared to just view the pictures on your phone, that is. And never ever use the zoom, but use the standard lens and you'll get results like this.
Hey, thanks for watching. Now, don't forget to comment in the comments section and give us your thoughts on what you think of an iPhone or an Android phone, for that matter, as a travel camera. Is it good enough when you're viewing on screen? Can it challenge the DSLR mirrorless market, or even the compact market for that matter? And if you've enjoyed this video, if you've enjoyed having a look around Lisbon or any of the photographs that I've just taken, please just take a second to give the video a like. Talking of which, if you'd like a great technique for shooting pictures with your iPhone, from a guy that went around South America doing portraits, absolutely incredible portraits, you want to have a look at this next film. It's probably the best new technique I've seen in 40 years. Click on this link here.